I start the song, I just want to say I'm starting with this song because it's one that's very dear to my heart from my childhood. And to me, it's an homage to the divine feminine that's within each and every one of us.
Maria grazia plena, Ave, Ave Dominus, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Ave Maria. Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, ora pro nobis, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae, in hora mortis nostrae, in hora mortis nostrae. Ave Maria.
Thank you, Michelle Zwasta. Oh yeah, just another round of applause. Michelle, our multi-talented Michelle. Michelle is also our board president, so thank you for all the many ways that you serve here at Unity of South Sound, and can't wait to hear more. Thank you. Welcome to the light and the love that is Unity of South Sound. My name is Chris Lasarga, and it is my joy to welcome all of you here this morning. If you have any questions, concerns, or joys to share, we love those especially, please contact our office during business hours or visit our website at unityofsouthsound.org. At this time, we also invite you to put your cell phones into silence and we invite you to relax, reconnect, and center in the truth of who we are. Will you please join me in saying our opening affirmation? There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. Our mission statement: inspired by the divine, as an inclusive spiritual community, we explore and express our highest potential. Our vision statement: present and centered in divine love, we co-create a peaceful and awakened world. And our core values: we are love, joy, abundance, and spirit guided. And now, Reverend Megan will lead us in an opening prayer. I'm going to turn this light on. There.
So as we acknowledge the light and the outer world, it is a reminder of the light we are within. And so imagine that you just ignited that light within you. And as we move into this opening of our service, I invite you to hold in your heart anybody that you feel connected to, that you're missing, perhaps is challenged, needing some healing, or separated. And at this time, I bring the soul of my beloved 91-year-old aunt who passed yesterday morning as she's on her soul journey. I really feel her in my heart today. And anyone else that you know, perhaps that you're missing, that has passed on in this last year, that is a presence that you missed during this Christmas time, but know they are still in your heart. And so we bring that awareness as we continue and to complete our Christmas journey in faith, in peace, in love, and the natural result is joy. No matter what's happening in the world, in and around us, joy is the natural expression of who we are. And today we celebrate that. And we send that joy that's ignited from the light that we are out into the world to bring light into the darkness, and a reminder that we have all that we need contained within our own Christ light. And for that, we are so very grateful. And as we open our eyes, I bring your attention to our Advent wreath and relight our light of faith. Okay, come on. Our light of peace, our light of love, and today, our light of joy. And in that we affirm, on this day, I remember to savor the joy of anticipation. I remember to savor the joy of anticipation. And let us be that our thought for today. And so it is. Amen.
And now I invite you to, if you are able, to stand and join with our song leader, Joey Sandal-Hill, in singing our congregational songs, or you can sit as well where you are. Joey?
Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. Let every resounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
Where we are able to greet each other with a namaste greeting. And if you feel comfortable, you can give an elbow bump. Otherwise, we invite you to just put your hands together and say, Namaste, I behold the divinity you are. Namaste.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Say, what may the tidings be which inspire your heavenly songs? Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Sound wonderful. For today's inspirational reading, we are going to the daily word for today, Sunday, December 18th, 2022, and the word is joy. Joyfully, I celebrate my oneness with God. As the 3 wise men followed the star to Bethlehem to greet the newborn child, I follow my inner light and discover the Christ within. As I approach the conclusion of Advent season, I realize that this, rather than material goods or creature comforts, is the source of my joy. The Christ within is the part of me that is always one with God. Omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence. When I face challenging times, I can draw from that inner wellspring of my joy, my foundation of irrepressible strength and fortitude. I have within me the power to overcome any challenge. This day, this moment, I am joy-filled, and I celebrate the overflowing blessings of my divinity. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. Matthew, chapter 2, verse 10. And now Reverend Megan will lead us in a time of meditation.
In preparation for meditation, I invite you to just get comfortable in your seat, to put aside anything that may be a distraction, and just consciously know that we're beginning a journey within to really connect with who we are. And I invite you to feel the words of this song, I Allow, by a beloved friend and singer-songwriter, Terry Wilder, that is inviting us to allow, to receive, to accept, and to believe that I have all that I need, but then to know that I am all that I need right now. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I am all I need now. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I am all I need now. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I have all I need. I allow, I receive, I accept, I believe that I am all I need now. And so, taking in a deep breath, allow the vibration of our prayer bowl to begin to feel the vibration of your true nature as you begin your journey within. Feel it. Align with it. And taking in another deep, deep cleansing breath, feel the breath that's breathing you, expanding within you, connecting with every cell of your being. Feel them activated. And as you exhale your next breath, exhale deeply and fully. Just knowing you're releasing anything and everything that your mind, body, soul connection no longer needs. For we are divinely designed to receive all we need and to release it when it's complete. So I breathe in, I allow this moment. Allow the breath to fill me. I receive it in the consciousness of love, where I conceive my divine nature. I accept it as the gift that it is, and I feel a sense of joy in receiving this renewed awareness of my own Christ light. And in that moment, I believe I have all that I need. I know I have all that I need. And so again, I allow, I receive gratefully. I accept who I am in this moment. The beautiful Christ light that came here to have an experience in this world and to share it with everyone, wherever I go. And so in the silence of my being, allow yourself to believe that I am all that I need right now. In the silence, know it. I breathe in all that I am. And the realization of the gift that I have been given through every breath that I receive. I am grateful. As we bring our awareness back into this moment, into our physical beingness, into this connection with each other, we open our eyes renewed, refreshed, and know that I am the light of the world, and I will allow it to make a difference wherever I go. And so it is. Amen.
Megan, thank you, Reverend Megan, for that beautiful meditation, that beautiful breath of heaven. I have traveled many moonless nights, cold and weary, with a baby inside, and I wonder what I've done. Holy Spirit, you have come and chosen me now to carry your son. I am waiting in a silent prayer. I am frightened by the load I bear in a world as cold as stone. Must I walk this path alone? Be with me now. Be with me now. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven. Do you wonder as you watch my face if a wiser one should have had my place? But I offer all I am for the mercy of your plan. Help me be strong. Help me be. Help me. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven.
Thank you, Michelle. That was beautiful. That's one of my favorite songs. It just takes you to that place of your breath and the blessing and the gift that we are. You know, Christmas morning is next Sunday. 1 week from today. It kind of feels like it snuck up on us. But by then, hopefully, you have completed all of your shopping for the year, your preparation for the annual holiday celebrations, maybe with a few gatherings left to go, but you're in that place where you can really relax to receive. You know, I can tell that the length of the lines and the number of cars on the road, that everybody is out trying to get things happen. The line at the post office, that was fun. So no matter how we're planning on celebrating our Christmas experience, the events, things don't always go as planned. There sometimes are the unexpected, and perhaps result in unexpected blessings too, if we can be open and receptive to them. Though I've heard that even Mary and Joseph apparently had some challenges on their original Christmas Eve. According to a children's Christmas play, appropriate since we're having children today, being presented at a school a few years ago, and at the point in the story where the innkeeper was right on cue and he said, "There is no room," no one was prepared for when the boy playing Joseph turned to Mary and said, "I told you to make reservations." I guess he wasn't realizing that, Mary had been riding bareback on a donkey uphill for days to Bethlehem and was 9 months pregnant. You don't test those waters, is what I would say. But, even Joseph may have gotten caught up in reacting to the unexpected. So let us return to our question that I posed to you 4 weeks ago about all of these preparations. What is our goal? What are we preparing for in our Christmas experience? The past 3 weeks, we've been moving through the holiday. I'm going to rearrange my thing here. We've been moving through the holiday season and what is traditionally honored in Christianity as the theme of Advent. Advent, a reminder, it means the coming, which is really a time of preparation. And so it's important that we recognize that we are preparing for something important. Remembering it is not the preparation of the company that's coming for dinner, the plans that we're making, our Christmas shopping, the gift wrapping, the baking, the decorating, all of that stuff. It's not about that. Those things enhance our experience, but it's not what makes Christmas Christmas. And so it's been a time of preparation for the emerging of the Christ light within us. That's what we're preparing for. Not that it's not there, but it's as a reminder of, and this like a rebirth, of a reemergence, maybe at a deeper level. And so it's a time to increase our awareness of this light, the true meaning of Christmas, which, interestingly enough, coincides with the winter solstice, which we will be experiencing in a few days, right? I always love that because that means what? Increased light. So isn't there something symbolic around all of that? We have the longest night of the year coming up, but it signifies the transition of moving into the time of increased light, literally what the Christ birth represents, bringing forth the light from within. And Christmas morning, 3 days after solstice, is because the sun does not move for 3 days after solstice. And so the shift actually doesn't begin to happen until December 25th. So see how it all divinely is alignment with what it is, but as far we really need to understand it. So today, we celebrate joy as the fourth theme of Advent in this preparation of awakening on Christmas Day. And we find the new birth or the rebirth that we await for symbolically described in the history of Jesus. As we look back to that, in the book of Luke 2:10 and 11, it said, "The angel spoke to the shepherds in the fields announcing, 'Do not be afraid.'" Remember, the angels always announce that. So, "Do not be afraid of your inner guidance. For I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people." No exclusions there. "For to you is born this day in the city of David a Savior who is Christ the Lord." Lord interpreted as truth. It is bringing the truth to us. And so his birth brought great joy and wonder to the people of his time, so to speak. Jesus' birth and life continue to bring joy and wonder to our lives today when we really acknowledge and understand what it's about. Whether it's a myth or not, because there's all kinds of questions around that. The point is that there's something about the story that touches our soul. And it invites us into a deeper awareness of our own divinity and why we benefit from exploring it further. So the child Jesus represents the Christ, which is the creative energy of God, the name of God, that is that creative energy, individualized within each of us. So that we call God lives and breathes in us. The name of the divinity within us. It is so important that we recognize what we're acknowledging here. So it is our pattern for perfection, so to speak. It is the identification of our highest degree of spiritual potential. You have incredible potential. Have you realized it yet? The real you is your Christ self, your spiritual self. And it is in this awareness that we experience the experience of that exuberance that we call joy. Our final and ultimate gift of Christmas. It is a natural experience when we conceive in the love that we acknowledged last week, when we conceive of the awareness of our true nature. The natural expression has to be joyful, something to celebrate, right? So the Christ has always been with you, and the gift is in remembering of allowing the Christ to emerge within us and express openly in the world, something to celebrate. And maybe every year as we do it, it's like I open a little more, I tap in a little deeper, I allow myself to express greater potential. And so that's what we're really going to celebrate next Sunday. Hypatia Hasbrook, in her book, I just wanted to tap onto this just a little bit. The Trip to Bethlehem, the traditional Christmas story, A Guide to Spiritual Transformation, talks about Jesus' birth. And what's really important that I want you to understand when we're looking at the story of Mary and Joseph traveling to Bethlehem, they're doing this because it was a worldly duty. And so for us, for humanity, there's this duty that we have to take this journey to the higher level of consciousness that Bethlehem represents. And the child being born there indicates that a transformational process continues even while we're doing whatever life requires of us. So there's this requirement that they had to take this journey, but the transformation is happening in the fact that we were willing to take a step on the journey. And so all the thoughts and feelings required in this experience with the material environment are called together, which is what the world senses was, that we're all being called together. And the feeling and thinking nature, as well as love and wisdom, which Mary and Joseph symbolize, are in harmony. They are married in harmony, and need to be isolated from everyday consciousness with its mixture of thoughts and feelings that crowded in. So see, it was an intentional blessing that there was no room for them at the inn, because the Christ could not be born in the noise of the world around them. It was important there, and in those days, stables were caves. So it was a very dark and quiet place, and it's where the animals are, but the animals represent all of the things that we need in consciousness. And so as we are removed from the noise of the world and we're into this quiet space, that's where the Christ is able to be born and nurtured. The swaddling clothes represent that we are born into, we'll have some physical limitations. And yet the light that we are will allow us to overcome that. And so that's the important thing for us to recognize, that, as I saying, it's like we have all that we need right now. It might not look like it, but in truth, we do if we go within and allow. And so we've been given that, all we need to nurture our newly emerging Christ. It's vulnerable in the beginning, right? Just like you have to care for a newborn. Our consciousness, though, is ready to allow for the unfoldment of our divine potential, because we've been preparing for it through our everyday living. Remember the Christmas Carol, the story of Scrooge? What an old curmudgeon he was. crotchety, mean, unhappy, joyless. And he somehow transformed into a giving, loving, happy, joyful, and compassionate man after his life was reviewed with the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and yet to be. And so it teaches us that we can learn in hindsight from the experiences we've had, but we can also learn that perhaps we have forgotten who we are through the pain of the world, through the pain of life, through the challenges that have somehow separated us from the awareness of our light. So he was transformed when he became aware of how holding his anger and unforgiveness of others was destroying his life, his relationships, his capacity for happiness. And when he recognized how his actions had affected his life and those of others, something happened within him. His Christ light was awakened, and he became a new person. He began living his divine potential, and he felt great joy. He became almost giddy. Remember how it was unleashed and he could hardly contain himself? It's like he wanted to make up for all that he had lost from not participating in joyful expression in life. And you could just feel it. It's such a powerful story for all of us. The joy Scrooge experienced was a demonstration of what Pierre de Chardin, a Jesuit priest, said when he called the definition of joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. When we express God, we are expressing joy. When we express joy, we are expressing our divine nature, that is God. So it's not only a feeling of great pleasure and happiness, but it's also literally tears of joy. It could be from extreme delight or jubilation or triumph or exultation or joy, rejoicing or glee or bliss, ecstasy, all those things beyond just happiness. So we too can experience a Scrooge kind of transformation when we extend the joy of the presence of the Christ in our life. We find true joy in turning to the one whose birth we celebrate and whose spirit is always with us. So this morning, we have the privilege of experiencing a story that reflects the true inner experience of absolute joy and the pureness of the consciousness of love, where our divine nature is conceived. Scrooge experienced that, and the characters in our children's play do as well, based on the story of Pearl S. Buck called Christmas Day in the Morning. But before I call them, as I hinted last week, we have a special guest amongst us. So I want to invite my dear Unity friends, and all of you online, you have a treat in store for you. Because today we have a special gift all the way from Vatican City via live from New York. It's Saturday night. The research analyst to the Pope and successor to Father Guido Sarducci, my dear love of my life and friend, Father Tuta Bene. Would you please come forward and share a little with us?
I don't know why one of those three wise guys went to see the baby Jesus. They didn't bring like Pampers or maybe some formula or something like that. I don't understand that part, but I am here from Vatican City. I'm the keeper of the secrets from the Holy Roman Catholic Church. You know this, yes? Any of you former Catholics out there? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it? The rest of you are in for a big surprise. So we're talking about gifts here today. What is the very best gift that you can get? I'm going to lay out there that the best gift is heaven. Heaven could be the best gift. So I want to tell you how you recognize the gift of the heaven. But before I do, I have to tell you a little story. Kind of help us settle the nerves, you know? Settle the nerves a little bit, tell you a story, may or may not be true. So there was this priest, And he was in Madison, Wisconsin, place out there, very cold. And is going to go to one of these places that have a men's group, you know. He's going to save us some souls. And so he talked to the boys, and he says to one of the guys out there, he says, hey, Kowalski, you want to go to heaven? Kowalski says, yes, Father. It's good. You stand over there. He says, Jones, you want to go to heaven? Yes, Father. You go and stand over there with Kowalski. He says, hey, O'Malley, you want to go to heaven? O'Malley says, no. And the priest was upset. He says, O'Malley, what's the matter for you? You don't, when you die, you don't want to go to heaven? He said, oh, when I die. Oh, yeah, I thought you were getting a group to go now. Okay, so now I tell you a little bit about some of the secrets from Vatican, okay? The Bible is not real clear about what heaven or is it like or how we can recognize that. I'm going to help you. So the Bible tells us that in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 21, those of you who have your Bible, you could fact check me. And that it says that there are 12 pearly gates, and each gate is made from one pearl. Imagine a whole gate made from one pearl 12 times. Did you know, by the way, that pearls are made from oysters? And oysters have to be irritated in order to make a pearl. So it tells me that in heaven, or at least near heaven, there must be some gigantic oysters. Big, huge oysters to make the pearl, yeah? So those of you who want to follow along, I will tell you, imagine that single pearl. It's going to be big. And furthermore, these gigantic oysters are hanging around heaven, and they must be really irritated. They're so irritated that they joined a gang. You may have heard of them. They're a big gang. They call them the Big Blue Oyster Cult. You might know them. And that's what I mean. These enormous angry oysters hanging around heaven, not a scene I want to be part of for eternity, which is forever. Now, I know some priests like to say forever and ever, but I think forever covers it. So before you get to the pearly gates, you have to die, and when you die, the soul leaves the body, and it kind of floats up like a bubble in a soda pop. And then you get to that place, right? And when you arrive at the gates, you must take a test. So you see St. Peter, you know he's at the gate, right? You heard it is? He's at the gate, St. Peter, right? There's 12 gates. So St. Peter is running around like a crazy man, one gate to the other, trying to get people to come in. So he makes the test easy most of the time. So you might have to spell a word like love or peace. But if St. Peter is not in a good mood because he's been dodging huge oysters all day, you might get a more tougher word like Kyrgyzstan, Liechtenstein, or something like that. So if you make it inside the pearly gates, there's a long tunnel. And the tunnel is, at the end, is light, just like at the spotlight right there. And at the end of that light, you get to meet God. Pretty cool. Meet him face to face, one-on-one time. Now, in this long tunnel, you're going to see a picture of your life. It's like a movie. It's like in Las Vegas at the Fremont Experience. It goes all over and over and over, and you get to see that. And before you meet God, you get all the way to the end, and there's God. Like waiting for you, like she knows you was coming. Like a psychic. You know God is a woman. She looks just like Oprah. She's a psychic. And it turns out that you get paid, because life is a job, you get paid $14.50 for every day you was alive on earth. $14.50, $14.50, $14.50, once for every day. And after she pays you, then you go over your sins, because you have to pay for your sins. It's a cash deal. You have to pay for them. So like if you steal a candy bar when you was a kid, maybe that's a $6 fine. Maybe you steal something big like a car, that's a $100 fine. If you tell a lie, $10. $10. $10, $10, it adds up. $10. Murder is the worst one, worth of all the sins, worth $1 million. And if you don't have enough cash to pay for your sin, you have to come back and be born again until you earn enough money to pay off your debt. Yeah. Sometimes you have to come back over and over again as a nun to pay off your debt if you're like a mafioso type. Most nuns are a mafioso type. I didn't know if you know that. So anyway, back to heaven. Well, let's go on to heaven and tell you a little bit things you could be looking for. We know that there's 12 pearly gates, okay, big ones. We know that there is a stairway to heaven, right? Because it's in the song. Led Zeppelin tell us, a big prophet, there's a stairway to heaven. And according to that particular philosopher, we know that there are no photographs in heaven, and so it must be similar in effect to nature. Now, the great prophet John of Denver describes heaven as almost heaven, West Virginia. Almost, not quite, but close. Almost heaven, West Virginia. And you know why? Because of Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, very nice, right? But not quite heaven. And yet we hear from the great seer Belinda Carlisle that, heaven is a place on earth. So if we know this, then what might be heaven? I think heaven might be in your own backyard. I rewrite a John of Denver song. It sounds something like this. Where is heaven? It's in Tacoma. Cascade Mountains, Puget Sound. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains with a little bit sea breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. Giant oysters, humongous pearls, take me home, country roads. So, now you can take this gift of heaven and know that you're living in it right here, right now. St. Peter running from gate to gate, imagine that, dodging these oysters all over the place. Of course, when you look for God, look for these things. So first, look for oysters and pearls and Oprah, because you might get a car. Well, if that's all for me, I got to go back to the Vatican to do more research. Arrivederci, America.
So, Father, you think you might be available for brunch later? My house? Okay. So, that was like the warm-up for the main act. So I'm going to call our children in. Our YOUers are going to present now this wonderful story by Pearl S. Buck, Christmas Day in the Morning. Hello? Oh, come on in. You can grab that mic over there.
He woke suddenly and completely. It was 4 o'clock, the hour at which his father had always called him to get up and help with the milking. Strange how the habits of his youth clung to him still, 50 years ago, and his father had been dead for 30 years, and yet he woke at 4 o'clock in the morning. He had trained himself to turn over and go back to sleep. But this morning it was Christmas. He did not try to sleep. Why did he feel so awake tonight? He slipped back in time, as he did so easily nowadays. He was 15 years old and still on his father's farm. He loved his father. He had not known it until one day, a few days before Christmas, when he had overheard what his father was saying to his mother.
Mary, I hate to call Rob in the mornings. He is growing so fast and he needs his sleep. If you could see how he sleeps when I'll go wake him up. I wish I could manage alone.
Well, you can't, Adam. Besides, he isn't a child anymore. It's time he took his turn.
Yes, but I sure do hate to wake him.
When he heard these words, something in him spoke. His father loved him. He had never thought of that before, taking for granted the tie of their blood. Neither his father nor his mother talked about loving their children. They had no time for such things. There was always so much to do on the farm. Now that he knew his father loved him, there would be no loitering in the mornings and having to be called again. He got up after that, stumbling blindly in his sleep, and pulled on his clothes. His eyes shut, but he got up. And then on the night before Christmas, that year when he was 15, he lay for a few minutes thinking about the next day. They were poor, and most of the excitement was in the turkey they had raised themselves and mince pies his mother made. His sisters sewed presents, and his mother and father always bought him something he needed, not only a warm jacket, maybe, but something more, such as a book. And he saved and bought them each something, too. He wished that Christmas when he was 15, he had a better present for his father. As usual, he had gone to the 10-cent store and bought a tie. It seemed nice enough until he lay thinking the night before Christmas. He looked out his attic window. The stars were bright.
Dad, what is a stable?
It's just a barn, like ours.
Then Jesus had been born in a barn, and to a barn the shepherds had come. The thought struck him like a silver dagger. Why should he not give his father a special gift too, out there in the barn? He could get up early, earlier than 4 o'clock, and he could creep into the barn and get all the milking done. He'd do it alone, milk and clean up. Then when his father went in to start the milking, he'd see it all done, and he would know who had done it. He laughed to himself as he gazed at the stars. It was what he would do, and he mustn't sleep too sound. He must have awoke 20 times, scratching a match each time to look at his old watch. Midnight and 1:30, and then 2 o'clock. At 2:45, he got up and put on his clothes. He crept downstairs, careful of the creaky boards, and let himself out. The cows looked at him, sleepy and surprised. It was early for them, too. He had never milked all alone before, but it seemed almost easy. He kept thinking about his father's surprise. His father would come in and get him, saying that he would get things started while Rob was getting dressed. He'd go to the barn, open the door, and then he'd go get the 2 big empty milk cans, but they wouldn't be waiting or empty. They'd be standing in the milk house, filled.
What the?
He could hear his father exclaiming. He smiled and milked steadily, 2 strong streams rushing into the pail, frothing and fragrant. The task went more easily than he had ever known it to go before. Milking, for once, was not a chore. It was something else, a gift to his father who loved him. He finished. The 2 milk cans were full, and he covered them and closed the milk house door carefully, making sure of the latch. Back in his room, he had only a minute to pull off his clothes in the darkness and jump into bed, for he heard his father up. He put the covers over his head to silence his quick breathing, and the door opened.
Rob, we have to get up, son, even if it is Christmas.
All right.
The door closed and he lay still, laughing to himself. In just a few minutes, his father would know. His dancing heart was ready to jump from his body. The minutes were endless, 10, 15, he did not know how many. And he heard his father's footsteps again. The door opened and he lay still.
Rob!
Yes, Dad.
His father was laughing, a queer sobbing sort of laugh.
Thought you'd fool me, did you?
His father was standing by his bed, feeling for him, pulling away the cover.
It's for Christmas, Dad.
He found his father and clutched him in a great hug. He felt his father's arms go around him. It was dark, and they could not see each other's faces.
Son, I thank you. Nobody ever did a nicer thing.
Oh, Dad, I want you to know, I do want to be good.
The words broke from him of their own will. He did not know what to say. His heart was bursting with love. He got up and pulled on his clothes again, and they went down to the Christmas tree. Oh, what a Christmas! And how his heart had nearly burst again with shyness and pride as his father told his mother and made the younger children listen about how he, Rob, had got up all by himself.
The best Christmas gift I ever had, and I'll remember it. Son, every year on Christmas morning, so long as I live.
They had both remembered it, and now that his father was dead, he remembered it alone. That blessed Christmas dawn, when alone with the cows in the barn, he had made his first gift of true love. This Christmas, he wanted to write a card to his wife and tell her how much he loved her. It had been a long time since he had really told her, although he loved her in a very special way, much more than he ever had when they were young. He had been fortunate that she had loved him. That was the true love of joy. That was the true joy of life. The ability to love. Love was still alive in him. It still was. It occurred to him suddenly that it was alive because long ago it had been born in him when he knew his father loved him. That was it. Love alone could awaken love. And he could give the gift again and again. This morning, this blessed Christmas morning, he would give it to his beloved wife. He could write it down in a letter for her to read and keep forever. He went to his desk and began his love letter to his wife. My dearest love, such a happy, happy Christmas. The end.
They're all boys. For sharing this Reader's Theater story with us. And I just want to ask any of you, did you have a sense of what the story meant? What the overall meaning was? What it meant to you?
Love.
Love. Simple and meaningful. And yes, and so the whole feeling is that when we conceive the depth of true love and we want to share it, isn't there a joyful response? His father was beyond happy and inspired, and it was something that they shared, as a memory every year after that. So you guys can go ahead and be seated. I just have a few more things to say, and then we're going to sing a song. But I just want to wrap this up with a reminder of, as we're celebrating the gift of joy, Mary Morrissey, New Thought minister, speaker, and author, says, we have an opportunity to live in joy. So do not postpone happiness until the debts are settled and relationships are rearranged. Joy doesn't exist in the world somewhere. We find it inside. And isn't that what we realize through the Christmas story, through the story of Scrooge, through the story of this young boy who really truly wanted to do something that would make a difference from a place of love. So we didn't have to have a lot of money, didn't have to go to the store. We can find a way of sharing joy, the ultimate gift of the Christ that we find within each Christmas. A time of renewal, a time of rebirth, a remembering of our light, and we realize joy as a result. Scrooge found it. He discovered it's an inside job. And so we can do that too. And I just wanted, us to remember that. So my friends, let us all know that the time of the Christ has come, and that time is now. In the true magic of Christmas, we realize that we have all that we need right now. The gifts of faith, peace, love, and joy, and all the attributes of the Christ consciousness are yours as the Christ is awakened more brightly in you this Christmas and every Christmas. Something to be joyous and giddy about, don't you think? You can just imagine that, like we're dancing. Something to share as an outward exuberance of everything that we do. So I'm going to invite Joy to come up, and we are going to now sing, because isn't that what we do when we feel joy? With a deep sense of joy in honor of our children's presentation, of our guest, Father Tudu, and as well as in preparation for next week's celebration of Christmas Day. Let us stand and sing. Of course, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I love that story. And all the players today, what a wonderful message, Reverend Megan, around joy, and with our children bringing it home with the message about giving of their talents to bring joy to a parent. Hint, hint. Just saying. Some of the best gifts, right, are just the gifts of lightening someone's load. And I love that idea. Now we want to thank all of you for being with us today. So if you are joining us, maybe for the first time, or even joining us online, we want to thank you for being with us and sharing of yourself and your consciousness and your love with us. Also, if it is your first time, we do have a welcome packet on the back table if you're here with us in person in the sanctuary. If you've been with us before, welcome back. And if you have been with us for a long time now, welcome home, and welcome home to everyone. To all of our friends, now is the time that we want to share our unity blessing. So if you'll join with me, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity you are. And now we'd like to prepare for our love offering. Now is the time to share of your gifts with this community. And along with that, I'm going to invite Michelle to prepare for her next song. So as we get a chance to share right now of our financial blessings with this community, and there are some easy ways to do that, and I want to share some of those ways right now. You can do it very easily by texting the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to the number 833-217-5435. You may find that one of the easiest ways to share with this community. You could also visit our website at unityofsouthsound.org, and in the upper right corner of our homepage, there's an orange donate button, and you can make a one-time donation there or make it ongoing. It's very simple, and it is completely secure to do that on our site. You could also call our office, and usually the lovely Heidi will pick up the phone, and she can take information over the phone if that's easier for you, and you could send something in the mail as well to our address here at the Spire. If you're here in person, there's also an offering basket on the back table of our sanctuary that you could drop a gift in as well. So whichever way that you give and share of your personal blessings, whichever way you tithe, we want to hold these offerings in this moment in our hands and in our hearts and affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am in perfect balance and flow with the universal tides of giving and receiving. Thank you, God.
Come, they told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, sing along. A newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. To lay before the king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, when we come. Little baby, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, I am a poor boy too, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I have no gift to bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, that's fit to give a king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Shall I play for you, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, on my drum? Mary nodded, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. The ox and lamb kept time, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I played my drum for him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I played my best for him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. Then he smiled at me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, me and my drum.
Thank you again, Michelle. Oh, I am in the spirit. I love all the beautiful Christmas music. So we have just a few announcements to share with you today. And first and most important, in order to ensure that you get all the latest news for what's happening in this community, we would like you to know that you can keep up to date by subscribing to our weekly newsletter, the E-Blast. And you can go to our homepage, click on newsletter sign up, and then fill out your contact information, submit it there. And again, your information will be safe and secure on this site and will never be shared. The meta matching donations, and help us get a meta boost from the parent company of Facebook. There is, it's great news for us as a nonprofit community. So when you sign up to donate monthly to Unity of South Sound on our Facebook page, the Unity of South Sound Facebook page, Meta will match 100% of your donation after you make your second monthly donation. Well, they'll match up to $100. So they'll match up to $100 of your donation. So specifically, if you donated $100 for a couple months in a row on that second month, Unity of South Sound would receive from Meta $100. So to be eligible for this match, this is important to know, you will need to sign up and donate between, actually now, this has been going on since November 15th through Meta, but through December 31st. So December 31st is the last day to sign up for our community to be able to receive the additional funds from Meta. So we would really like to take advantage of this. We also want you to know that Meta is covering all of the donation processing fees so that we will receive 100% of that donation will come directly to us. So there will be some folks, I'll be one of them, myself, Deborah Olive will be in Wesley Hall after the service today. If you'd like some information on how to make this happen on your Facebook, we'll be there to help you. So come see us, look for us. Holiday book sale. Books make great gifts. So check out our holiday book sale after the service. There'll be some folks in the fireplace room right over here. And all books in our inventory are available for a minimum donation of just $5 each. So check off your Christmas list and gift someone with some wonderful Unity books. Intentional giving program. Unity of South Sound has extended our pledge drive through the end of the year as we're still receiving pledge forms. Our goal is $150,000 toward our 2023 budget. We have already raised $102,502 in pledges from about 27 families so far within our community. So pledge forms are available in the e-blast. They're on the back table if you're here in the sanctuary, or you can contact the office again and someone will help you with your pledge. So thank you to all of you who have already made your pledges. Upcoming special services. Yes, we can certainly, thank you to everyone. Okay. Upcoming special services. So we have so much more coming between now and the beginning of the year that drives this whole spirit for us. And so we want you to know that the next special service coming up is Saturday evening, December 24th. It's our Christmas Eve candlelight service. It's going to be wonderful. We will feature music from Maureen Parker and violinist Sophia L. Wakil. And the very next day will be Christmas Day Sunday service right here. And I know Reverend Megan mentioned earlier a little bit about Christmas service, but want you to know that Stephanie Ann Johnson will be with us on Christmas morning. She's wonderful, along with Jay Maven. And I also understand from Reverend Megan that Christmas is come as you are, come as you like. So just come and be with us. And if you happen to be in your PJs, that's okay too. Just come and celebrate and join in the joy that day. Lots of extra singing. There'll be a lot of extra singing on Christmas Day. So it'll be just one wonderful Christmas joyous celebration. So please join us here in the sanctuary or online. Either way, we invite you to be with us on Christmas morning. And then to kick off the new year, we have our Burning Bowl service on Sunday, January 1st. And then following that, our White Stone ceremony on Sunday, January 8th. So please plan to join us for these powerful services over the next few weeks. Life of Prayer class. Please join for a 5-week online course on Unity's affirmative prayer practice. Discover the what, why, and how on Tuesdays via Zoom, January 10th through February 7th, 2023. And those classes will be from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. in the evening. There is a required book. It is How to Pray Without Praying to God by Linda Martella Whitsett. And the link to order the book is in the e-blast. This course is required for anyone interested in becoming a prayer chaplain. And contact the office to sign up for this powerful experience. The Gifts of Winter series. As we enter into the winter season, let us consider the unexpected offerings within the seeming bleakness of this time of year. What can we embrace about this time? What gifts does winter have to offer us? How can we use these gifts and this season to enhance our blessings in 2023? We will explore those questions as the theme of our series, Our Journey Through the Gifts of Winter, beginning January 15th. To enhance your experience, we have available a downloadable calendar of practices to track your journey, as well as a weekly Zoom gathering on Wednesday evenings at 6:30 for anyone wanting to connect, share, and grow together. We look forward to sharing this journey with you in 2023. And now I'd like to call up Reverend Megan to talk about board nominations.
I'm going to invite Nancy, one of our board members, to come up. This is the time of year when we start to seek nominees for our board as we make a transition with our annual meeting. That will be February 12th, so mark that on your calendar too. And I just thought it would be interesting to hear from some of our board members. For anybody that might be considering a deeper level of leadership within Unity of South Sounds, I just wanted to ask Nancy, what would you say to anybody that might be considering service on the board?
I think.
Is that on? It should be on.
Okay.
Oh, oops, you just turned it off.
Turned it off. There we go.
There you go.
The word that comes to me is expansion.
Is that on?
The word that comes to me is expansion. If you really want to expand yourself spiritually, we get training. I know when I was asked, I was kind of fearful, and yet it's so there's no burden. We have our meetings on Zoom. We keep them at 2 hours. It's just an expansive experience, and you're working with wonderful people in our congregation that keep us moving forward.
Thank you, Nancy. And I also want to let you know that we honor spiritual education and development of leadership. So we have ongoing leadership training throughout the year with our board members. And if you have any questions, please seek out any of our board members. They wear name tags on Sundays, or myself. We also have a packet of information on what's required and the process for applying on the back of the sanctuary, but also through the e-blast and our website. You can find that information under the board tab. And so we know that the right and perfect people are being called forth as we seek to find new members to step into our board of leadership in 2023. And all of the things that this community does, I want to thank you for your service, for how you show up, how you make a difference. And as we evolve out of the pandemic and become more interactive together, there's a lot of things that we look forward to bringing back or recreating in some new way together as a community. And each of you and how you show up makes the difference. So let us celebrate the special services coming forth, and I look forward to seeing and being in that experience with you. Oh, you don't need this.
Thank you, Reverend Megan, and thank you, Nancy. Now we are going to bless our youth and that wonderful playing group that was here earlier. So let's bring them in.
But All right, is that better? All right. So they got here very early this morning so they could practice and they could mic check and do all of that. And then today after church, we're having a Christmas party with pizza. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And right now, everyone, would you please join together and let's bless these God lights, our youth and our youth leaders. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the divinity you are. All right. So parents, if you have children up here that you'd like to join, please come up and grab their hands. And for the rest of you, please stand as you can and let's join in our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace and harmony. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am, and all is well. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday for our Christmas Day service. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Navidad, prospero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. It's Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. of my heart.